everyone, Patrick McEwen here, a little bit different video than you're used to seeing on my YouTube channel. StringKing was nice to send over their Mark II V head as well as their Metal 2 350 pole for me to take a look at. Full disclosure, they gave me the gear, but they didn't pay me any money, and so they have no editorial control, so these are my unfiltered thoughts about them. This review is going to focus on the shaft, and I will follow up with one on the head. I think the place to start talking about these shafts is not so much the features of any of the individual shafts, but rather kind of a unique aspect of the set of them, that with the 320 gram one, the 350 gram one that I'm holding right here, the 380 gram one, you get a choice of long poles, whether you want them to fall on the heavier, stronger end of the spectrum or on the lighter, faster end, which isn't true really of any other set of shafts that I can think of where you have multiple shafts that are high end, ones that share the same cross-section, shape, feel, texture to them, but give you that choice of strength and weight. Next, I think it makes sense to talk about the material that it's made out of. As the name would indicate, it is a metal shaft. It's an aluminum alloy, as pretty much everything is on the market. StringKing talks about how they met with a bunch of different manufacturers to come up with a better alloy and do a couple improvements upon the one they used in the Metal and Metal Plus shafts. They upped the scandium content of the alloy, upped, I think, the zinc content as well. And the tricky part, though, about shopping for shafts as a consumer is you really have not that much information about what shafts are made out of, especially the top-of-the-line shafts. Once you get above kind of the 7050, 7075 alloys that are kind of standardized, you really don't know exactly what's in these and what kind of heat treatments they're using. And there's really no third-party sort of empirical data on what they're made out of. So it's really tough, I think, to make a decision about what shaft you should buy based on the materials. When it comes to comparing these top-of-the-line shafts, the big things that you do have control over are the shape and the texture. So I think I'm going to focus my review mostly on those to give you an idea of what you're getting from the StringKing Metal 2 line. In terms of texture, it's a really classic metal feel all the way down. There's not too many graphics. There's these couple up by the top, but the rest of it is smooth, that classic metal feel all the way down. It does include their pre-cut tape, just like every shaft they sell, so you can add grip where you want it. I think it's especially important with the long pole, where kind of everybody has different spots where they like their hands when they choke up, and different spots they want smooth to kind of slide their hands up and down as they throw poke checks or something. Looking down the end of the shaft, you can see that it's pretty close to, but not quite, a traditional octagon shape. If we compare it to what I would call a traditional, kind of the classic shaped shaft, you can see that it's kind of these diagonal faces that are not quite straight. We hold them up against ones that are, you can see there's kind of a slight indentation, it's a slight concave curve. Here's in comparison to a carbon fiber traditionally shaped shaft. You can kind of see that separation. You can see the separation of the curve right there. They're kind of slight. These faces are a little bit indented as well. Slight curve. It's nowhere close to the kind of curve that you'll see on some shape shaft, on some of these more radically concave shafts. But it is really nice because your fingers aren't flat, and so it gives you a little bit more surface area contact, a little bit more of a natural feel when you hold the shaft, but it's not enough to kind of separate from your fingers, so you don't get kind of the points of pressure on these harder curves. So it's very close to kind of that traditional feel, but it's, in my opinion, kind of a slight improvement because it's just enough curve to increase the contact area of your fingers against the shaft. In conclusion, if you're someone who likes a traditional metal feel to your pole, as well as the ability to choose where it falls on the strength to weight spectrum, I think the Metal 2 is definitely an option that you should be looking into.